So let's get this started. First up is, it's a little scratch. It's very scratched up on the head, but as you can see, OS 21 TM. And that's for the T-Max. Full start, good engine. Does the job. As you see, it's very dirty, from last time I ran it. This is really one of those engines where it just keeps ticking and ticking, as long as you don't run it lean, stuff like that, overheated and everything, like this engine will just keep lasting. Really good for the T-Max, Revo, any one of them RTRs and stuff, where like you need more of a small block to fit inside the kit and everything, but you sort of want big block power, good engine of choice. So just the first OS. Got a serial T-Max pipe on there. Okay. Pretty good. Next up is going to be Protek Samurai 321B. So I run this in the IGT8 buggy. .2060 pipe. I think that's a 75mm header on there. Stock header that comes with the pipe. Another very good engine from OS, or it's from Protek, but it's OS rebadged. So rebadged 21 VZB Spec 2. So pretty much has a different case, but it's still a short stroke. Different case because the VZB line, the speed line and everything, they was prone to the case cracking, either right here or right underneath the mounting points, getting like hairline cracks, causing air leaks and different stuff. Now they run like a bat out of hell, but that was basically the only real issue with the VZB line. But this is the Protek Samurai 321B, which is a OS VZB Speed Spec 2 rebadged. So the next up in the collection, we'll go to OS XCB .19, not a 21, .19. DLC coated crank. Another good engine. Not as much low end power as the 21s, but not that far off. Screams, it's a long stroke, so it does scream. But this was, I guess OS's, for lack of better words, their version of trying to get better fuel mileage at the time, and tinkering with going with a little bit lower than a .21 to get a little bit better fuel mileage. So if you're on a track where you can sort of stay on the throttle, not really have to get off the throttle and then, punch it real hard to get out of like hairpin turns. If it's more of a flowing track, this would be a good engine. So next up would be the older brother to that one, or the bigger brother to that one, I should say. The OS.21 XCB. So for all intents and purposes, we'll just call this the Spec 1. This is the original XCB .21. Once again, DLC coated crank. So next up would be another rebadge OS. This is the Flashpoint FPO2. So this is an XCB Spec 2 rebadge, DLC coated crank. One of the best bang for the bucks, you know, this came out in the Nitro engine game. If you can get your hands on one of these, two of these, whatever the case may be, I highly recommend it. You know, especially if you're trying to do something on a budget and everything. Try and watch your coins and stuff. I highly recommend this engine. Next up would be OS XCB Spec 3. Let's get a DLC coated crank. This is another one. Well, this is one that really didn't last too long on the market. And I gotta give a shout out to my man CJ. You know, he had this, you know, looking for a good home for it. And I said, man, I'll take that up off your hands and everything. Take care of it and everything. So, and shout out to you, CJ. I appreciate this one, man. Always wanted this one when they, you know, had them in production. Didn't get a chance to get it. You know, heard a lot of stuff about, hey, you know, I guess between this and the Spec 2, like there's some differences and everything that some people just didn't like or something, the way it ran. But whenever I seen one run, I was like really impressed. But that's the Spec 3. And let's go to this one. Formula KX01 off. Now this is more of a hybrid. It's a B2101 case, but it has XCB piston and sleeve, rod, the whole nine, with a XCB version 2 uncoated crankshaft. So yeah, so this is, it's a good engine. It's a good engine. You know, don't have the DLC coated crank, but it's definitely a good engine. It runs. A lot of people over here on the state side, you know, they may not know about Formula, but, you know, on the other side of the pond, you know, guys doing pretty good with this. I said, once again, OS base rebadge. Yep. So then, like I said, that was like a Spec 2 internals with a 2101 case. And we'll get into the Ultimate M3X version 2, which is once again OS rebadge. It's a B2101 rebadge. So I got this one running with, let's see if I can get that in there, the 2142 pipe with the fast lock hitter. So basically just twist the pipe comes off, put it on, twist it, locks back in place. No springs or anything on that part of it. Another good engine. This is a square stroke engine, so 16.4 bore by 16.4 stroke. Smooth but powerful, you know. Really good running engine. Next up, we had the B2102. So this is when they're getting back into long stroke. It's got DLC coated crank. Super low profile head, reminiscent of the B21 Tie 2. When all them super low profile heads came out. Yeah, there's been a big debate about these low profile heads, especially when running in super hot weather. You know, whether it provides enough cooling or not. Once again, I say, like, as long as you tune it, you know, properly, you know, you should be able to get what you're supposed to get out of it. That's the B2102. Drake has some info on this in his videos with the B2102, I think, 03 Type S and Type R, I believe, and his engine, the Drake engine, like a comparison video as far as power and stuff, what he's felt and everything. I think it's a pretty good engine myself. Next up, we have another rebadge, Protek Samurai RO3. So this is a B2103 rebadge. So it has the R head, B2103 Type R head. Case is the same, but it has what I would think is, or I would assume is the Type S internal as far as the sleeve. It's a 3-port, whereas the OSB Type R, B2103 Type R has the 5-port sleeve. This has a 3-port sleeve, which that's what the Type S had. But it has the Type R carburetor, which on here is a E carburetor. So it's the more powerful, because the Protek also came out with a RO3 and an SO3. And the SO3 was the mileage version, so it had a different carburetor for mileage. And this one has the 2090 on it with the 85 millimeter header. DLC coated crank, ceramic red bearing. I really like this engine, powerful engine. Good for truggy. Good for buggy too. You know, just switch out the header. Then we have the Formula KX01 Evo. So this is a rebadged 2104. I got the ultimate 2141 on here. Just came with the fast lock header. Once again, good engine. It's not explosive. It's like smooth off the bottom. It doesn't explode into the mid. It's like a smooth ramp into the mid, but I guess the power starts so much at the bottom that it feels real smooth. But it's a stump puller, but also, you know, it's not going to spin the wheels off of nothing. It's like it grips and goes. Good engine, and got good fuel mileage. Real good engine. So that's the Formula KX01. Then we have the Roi VS BO4. So another B2104 rebadged, DLC coated crank. This one, the end of the crankshaft, the outlet of the crankshaft has Roi's signature like 3 scoops on the outlet, which is different than the normal crankshaft. It just has the 1 scoop on the outlet. Timed a little bit differently, and also this one has the 5-port sleeve. So it has a 5-port sleeve that Roi spec for this particular engine, but it's the 2104 case. And then we're 2105, latest generation of the speed line. Not too much to say about this, but this is supposed to be the latest and greatest. And then to pull up the end of it, B21 Ronda Drake edition. I had to get me one of these to support, one of the most famous women to ever race in RC, and the fastest woman to race so far in RC. DLC coated, ceramic bearing. Basically the same engine as Adam Drake engine, just different color cooling head. It has different color Venturis too to match the cooling head. So that's it. That's the OS collection. Hope y'all, enjoyed it. That's part 1 of my Nitro engine collection. That's the OS ones. I'll be back, with more. All right.